Yeah. Currently, I'm studying in master degree in public policy in ANU, Australian National University with Angga. And uh, bef before I take uh, this study, I work for about, I guess, 12 years as a tax officer. And my last job is I work in oil and gas tax office. That is why I interest in this topic about energy. But to be honest, I don't know much about energy. I only know about oil and gas and about tax. So if you want to discuss more about tax and oil and gas, yeah, I maybe can answer some. But in energy, I'm also new. It's so we are in the same boat. So don't hesitate to talk to. We are in the same boat. I don't know either. So yeah. And also, I want to emphasize that our intention here in this discussion is not to about right or wrong or whether which better in build opinion or something like that. But our main aim or intention is to speak up in English. We are learn, so just be confident. Don't hesitate to talk. Okay, don't be afraid. Just be confident. Okay, well, today's topic is how to save the planet, sustainable energy, and its challenges in Indonesia. But don't expect too much. We don't after this discussion, we don't gonna save the planet, I guess. That's just the title. We will talk about more about energy in Indonesia and its uh, energy transition, especially, and how what is the challenges and how we may what make a better world by uh, change the energy in Indonesia. Okay. Wait a minute. Okay, this is today's what the heading. I mean, in the first part, we will talk why the energy is important, and then in the second part, we will discuss what is the current situation about energy in Indonesia and about the drawbacks about the current situation, the current energy mix. And then we will talk about the potential of energy transition in Indonesia, and then lastly closing. Well, before we start, let's any thought maybe about energy. Anyone want to share? Maybe you studying about energy or heard issue about energy in Indonesia or in the world, maybe, or you can share your experience as well about energy, talking about energy. Maybe someone that live in his hometown have a problem about energy. You may share here, please. Anyone? Putra maybe, or Angga, you mau you want to start first? Okay, please, Angga. By the way, Angga, could you please make me the moderator to be the moderator?
Sure.
Wait a minute.
To be the house, you mean?
The host. I mean, yeah,
Okay.
that's what I mean. Anyone that want to talk, please raise your hand. Okay, Angga.
Right, wait a minute. All right. This is interesting when I'm thinking about energy. Um, I reckon it is a part of our life. We can't live without energy. Um, Everything needs technology, like uh, something that we use to produce foods, for example. We need to use energy to make that possible. Something that we use to enjoy ourselves, like watching movies, um, playing games, for instance. Um, that's all needs technology as well. What else? Yeah, I think technology is one of the important things that human needs. Even because this is very crucial. Uh, there's so many conflicts that have happened, along human history. It is, it has something to do with, technology as well. Over, how some nations and group of people they tended to have conflicts over this issue as well because of this importance. That is why talking about technology, even though some people might not be keen to discuss it, but we cannot deny that this is one of the pivotal issues that we need to pay attention to.
Okay, beautiful thought by Angga. Anyone want to share? Please speak up. Don't worry. Oh, Haidar, please. Wait a minute.
All right. To be honest, I'm not from energy majority, but I've ever experienced about energy, especially when I was in the college, my college in Madura Island, and then I've ever met about seawater reverse osmosis, right? So it seems process who keep learn about energy now about that seawater reverse osmosis, but in my opinion, everything that's new energy in Indonesia, particularly in Madura Island, is not it cannot be sustainable. So yeah, unfortunately, but I mean, energy is essential to our life. Very useful, right? To elevate our work, elevate our job, something like that. So, yeah, but yeah, I'm sorry, I don't know about I don't have idea too much about extended energy, but I have experience about energy. But yeah, I represent it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Haidar. Very nice thought. Yeah. How about you, Putra?
Yes. everyone knew, and I believe we are in one perspective about Indonesia is having the big energy, especially for the natural resources. Yeah, but in right now, or no day, me or anyone doesn't know, don't know about how to what happened with our natural resources of Indonesia, because I think common people like me, I don't know how to processing or how to what the regulation to be like a mining and the others country to digging our land and taking this our natural resources. But I think we need to searching the information about that. So we have to also to know about what happened in the real life, in a real condition, in a real time. Because I've ever visited several mining in Indonesia, which is this international or the other country who's digging our land and picking up and taking our natural resources like mining of gold and nickel and so many like natural resources. They process that. I just feel blind about the data, yeah, of course, what happened on our resources. So probably here is or someone know about this in this group. So let me know also.
Okay,
Yeah,
very good
I think
point,
that's
Putra. Yeah, it is true that we have a lot of resources in energy, especially in coal. We currently are a net importer for oil. When we used to be the exporter, but currently is maybe I will if we have some time. Actually, I know some, especially in oil and gas, how we make the contract. So we use cooperation contract in oil and gas. If we have time, I will share more about that. Don't worry. Yes, very good point from Putra. Okay, Silahudin, please.
Yes, thank you for the chance. I just wanna mention about my thought. It is the simple thought because I have no many data about the energy. But I want to say that our future it is about the renewable energy because we have I think we all already knew about the non-renewable energy have the limitations. It is not eternal energy, so we can need for our future with the renewable energy. The resources of Indonesia, I mean, the natural resources is very big. I mean, we can explore our resources very well with the technology, of course. Yeah. So we must have the proper education for our teenager. I mean, the young generations for our future to can develop our resources well in the future. Because I think, one of our resources is related to the oil palm industry. I think it is because Indonesia is very large to can develop the oil palm, and I reckon that oil palm will be our future related to the energy issue. It is my opinion. Thank you very much.
Okay, very nice stuff. Yeah. Currently, we use bio energy in the form of bio P30, like what biosolar, Yeah. So yeah, and actually, Indonesia is targeting to be a P100 in 2050. Yes, so you right, Silahudin, that it will be the future of the energy in Indonesia, I guess. Okay, maybe we go to the next slide. I think that's enough. Wait a minute. Okay, we also already answered this question, I guess. Like Hangga And Putra said before that energy is very important. Everything in our life is relating to energy. I mean, we really depend on energy right now, right? Like how we study, how we work, how we doing daily activities, all related to energy, especially electricity and also the the transportation. That's why energy is like very, very important. Okay, Angga, you wanna add more?
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, I just wanna say that because of this importance, I think I was talking about it before, but energy can lead to disputes or conflicts. There's so many conflicts over natural resources, and uh, uh, there's some countries, I could say, um, which are rich with their natural resources. They often have so many advancements as well in their countries, but it doesn't mean that every country rich with energy like coal and gas, they're advanced as well, as advanced as uh, developed countries as well, because there's an interesting um, phrase from some researchers saying that there is a curse of natural resources. So whenever there are countries or regions with abundant of natural resources, but this place could be the poorest regions in their areas as well. Like just look at Papua, for example, or some places in Borneo, like in my places, in Kutai Kartanegara, for example. Uh, they are very rich with abundant natural resources, but they are still considered as one of the poorest regions in Indonesia, I could say. So yeah, there's interesting problems as well over energies and natural resources. Yeah, that's the thing that I want to mention.
Yeah, very good point about how decided in. I think this is like an unequal energy distribution, right? The region that have a rich energy resource, but unfortunately, is the poor region as well. Yamin, wanna add something? Please go.
Well, good evening, everyone. So
Good evening, Yamin.
nice to get to know you all. I think, a newbie here. So this is my first time joining this kind of activity. As an introduction, I am from Buton in Southeast Sulawesi. It's really
Cool.
close to Wakatobi, like around uh, probably 2 hours to Wakatobi Island, if some of you know Wakatobi. Uh, First of all, I want to address the first slide before is about the our thought about energy. I believe that the biggest source of clean energy that we have, it's not only in Indonesia but the whole planet. The sun. I believe this is the biggest one, but I don't know why. Like, we don't really have many very serious steps or any serious efforts that being done by the government or any organization, how to massively harness the energy from the sun. We only have like the small scale of the uh, solar panel, something like that, which is not enough for the society. I believe this is because of the business itself, which is the business in oil, in gas, is something very profitable for some people, I think. Regarding to the second slides, that's about why is energy important. I think this is a very basic things. Everything that we do in our daily life, it's all need energy. Since we get up, we go to the bathroom, it's all need energy from the food, and the food coming uh, from the activity that doing by the other people like farmer, something like that. And also going to work in the office is all need energy. And I think nobody will say that energy is not important. So uh, and also one of the things like energy make our country and the other country also run as a country. Without energy, I think we will not have any state or any country that can be run. I think that's uh, the second slide. Back to you, Pak Arya and Bang Angga.
Okay, very nice. Beautiful thought by Mas Yamin. Yeah, maybe we will talk about solar cell later. Don't worry about that. So yeah, that's one of the potential. I think the biggest potential source in solar cell in Indonesia is solar. But the thing is there is the the equipments related to the solar is mostly import. We have to import that's the problem. So we will later talk that even though the biggest potential source of energy is from solar in Indonesia, but the most potential resource that can be achieved and economically built is geothermal. Later we will talk about it. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries, Pak Yamin. Okay, maybe since we mostly everyone here meet for the first time, I think it's good idea if you talk for the first time. I think you can introduce yourself and maybe mention what are you doing right now, like are you studying or are you what's your job, something like that, so we get to know better about your background, so we know, yeah, that and I think this is good. We know each other. Maybe later we will meet in another opportunity, then just say hi and yeah. Okay, thank you, Pak Yamin. Okay, I think I will like to move to the next slide. Next. Okay, we already talked about why energy is important because people highly depend on energy. To sum up, that I will talk about a bit history of energy, right? So people started to rely on energy in Neolithic era when people know and have the ability to control the fire. And then after that, people start to make simple technology like sailing, windmills, and water mills that use the energy, especially the wind. And the use of energy is massively used when the Industrial Revolution uh, came in the 18th century. At the time, there were massive use of the coal. It started in England because in England there is so many coal, and it ran out like 2 or 3 decades ago, I guess. And then after that, people found combustion engine in 20th century, and then oil become the main source of energy, and until now, I guess. We we are currently, the world currently in the transition to renewable energy, but we still depend massively on fossil fuel, which is what oil and the coal. Nowadays, all people activities use electricity, which emphasize that our dependency to energy is very, very massive, right? Because like you said before, that our daily activities is involved in energy because of we really depend on electricity, right? And unfortunately, this high dependency to energy might lead to some problems. Like one of problem that said by Angga is it's lead to conflict. Maybe you know. Who is it? Sorry. Okay. Okay, I will continue. Like maybe you know about Venezuela. What happened to Venezuela is related to energy conflict that in 2014. It is like Angga said before that Venezuela is country which have a very, very massive resource of energy, which is oil, but they become the poorest. I think currently one of the poorest country, considered poorest country in the world, I guess. Maybe if we have time, we will talk about that as well later. Or anyone want to talk, any comment about this? About this? No? Okay, I will go to the next slide, I guess. Okay, this is problem that relate to the energy, right? Like what happened in Sri Lanka or 1973 oil crisis. Anyone know about this? Maybe want to explain or give the opinion about this crisis at the time? Or maybe you can give another example. Like I said before, maybe you want to talk about Venezuela, or you want to talk what the Iraq and Iran war. They at, I think it 1980s, I guess, right? At the time, Iraq and Iran, they had war. Anyone want to share thought? Okay, Angga.
Thank you, Arya. I'm not sure actually, but when we're talking about Venezuela, I don't think that they are pure. They're poor purely because of their energy. I think there's to do with other advanced economic countries as well, which didn't like you know that Venezuela is rich because there's a economic embargo happening at a time experienced by Venezuela because Venezuela is a country that you said before relied heavily on oil and gas resources, etc. When you can't sell your resources to other countries, what what you can do, right? This is very hard. Where uh, uh, so many alliance of advanced economic countries like US, for example, they could influence other nations by not buying energies and resources of Venezuela. So there is the problem. Yeah, I think that is very complicated, but I don't think that it is merely caused by their their richness of energy resources. Yeah, but I'm still not sure of that. You maybe somebody might also give some contribution on that point.
Okay, thank you, Aga. Yeah, there's actually so many problems in Venezuela. Like But yeah, like you said before, the main problem is the embargo. So to simplify, so the US is not don't like Venezuela, and then US embargo all the trade with Venezuela, and also influence other countries to not have a trade with Canberra, both buying or selling something to Venezuela. And unfortunately, Venezuela is import everything. So they because they are Venezuela is very rich, very rich. So mostly the people can the what how do you say that? So the real sector, I mean the production in Venezuela is not so good. So mostly the Venezuela is import everything from other countries. That's the main problem. So when the trade is being embargo, yeah, that the country is dead, basically. Yeah, Angga, please, want to add something?
Maybe other people first.
Oh yeah, come on, Retno, maybe. Are you there, Retno?
Yeah, I'm here, but actually, frankly speaking, I knew nothing about this kind of things. Because I don't know, it's just not my cup of tea. So that's why I have nothing to say yet, because I know
Okay.
what to say.
Me too.
Do you know
Me
what happened
neither.
in Sri Lanka, maybe?
No,
Retno?
I
No?
haven't got the faintest idea.
Okay, cool. No worries. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm sorry, I
Everyone,
don't have much.
no worries, no worries. Okay, Putra, maybe you want to share something, please?
Yeah, sorry. I think every or almost all of the
Maybe you
case.
can introduce yourself properly. I mean, yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Hello, my name is Putra. I stay in Jakarta for working and studying also in here.
Oh.
And right now
What are you studying, Putra?
Are you
studying?
Yeah.
Accounting or maybe law or something else?
No, I'm studying in psychology.
Oh, cool. Psychology. Okay, thank you. Let's continue.
I just disappointed to the world, especially to United Nation in bahasa SPBB, because so many crises is impact from the superpower country like USA. So I've as I knew, in the case of 1873, is also involved with the USA in that crisis. And then we have the historical also about the war, like Union Soviet or Iran, or like seems like a country with the big oil resources. I think there is almost all of the case is influenced by superpower nation. Of course, this United States. And actually, I disappointed to like United Nation, because United Nation is can't control the all of member like United or the United States or United Nation can control the USA for doing something or like influence some country to to do the war, or to break the connection, or to do the embargo. I think my point about how to superpower country to control the oil resources. Thank you.
Okay, very good point by Putra. He criticized the United Nations, that United Nations cannot solve the problems about war and also about embargo and some things like that. Is that correct, Putra? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually I will give a bit my opinion. Actually, the United Nations itself is built by, yes, is the leader of the United Nations is a superpower country as well. You know that the one that have veto rights, and every nation have its own, how to say that, own will, own territory, own sovereignty. That is why United Nations cannot involve in they cannot United Nations can give a recommendation or like but actually the decision, the political decision is in the depend on the country, every country itself. So it is like the voluntaries. So yeah, that's a good point, how to like United Nations is built to solve problem in the world, but that's currently being a debate in the in our class as well, right, Angga, that what is the point of the United Nations? They used to build that institution to solve problem, but it is not effective. Yeah, that's a big still being a debate and still being questioned up until now.
Oh, so
Okay.
so the creation cannot control the founding father, like that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the point actually. Still, the bargaining power of the superpower country is very, very strong. Yeah, because so many country depend on the superpower country. When later, if currently China like become the challenger, yeah, the rival, right? That's if later most of the country shift the dependence to China will become the superpower, and yeah, China will the one that control, I guess.
Yeah, actually, I'm very
that's
happy.
the nature of the political. Yeah, you know what I mean, right?
Yeah, actually, I'm very happy. I seen that China and India is being a rival for the superpower country or European country, because as long as the years, from the 80th century, Europe is always to be like seems like a leader, or seems like a superpower country. But right now, Asia is having the better the better challenge and the better effort to be a rival, and to be and against this country, superpower country, I meant.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mr.
Okay, thank you, Putra. Haidar, maybe just please. Haidar?
All right.
No?
Okay. My voice clearly, Mr.
Yeah,
All right. So I'm here.
loud and clear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Previously, let me introduce myself. My name is Haidar. I'm from Surabaya. I'm fresh graduate from University Trunojoyo of University, particularly from agriculture department. So as a students from agriculture, I want to render my opinion in the perspective agriculture. Right? Yeah, we show about the staple food, particularly rice in Indonesia, still rely on import from another country. So I mean, I've ever visited Prin, who has big influence to researcher in Indonesia, but I'm still curious about renewable energy from their development, right? Because when I figure out about several development from another country, particularly in rice, such as Japan, who very give more effort to obtain every treatment, who can fastly grow some rice and can be give high productivity in their country. So it seems Indonesia can become like that. But I'm still curious about that. For instance, when I've ever to read some research who has give a treatment to the rice in several treatment, like different light such as blue light and red light and yellow light. So different treatment has different impact to crops. But yeah, it seems Indonesia very neat about that. But I don't know until now, because that research haven't to occur in Indonesia. Yeah, something a bit because without accompanied with renewable energy, or such as a solar cell and something like that. Previous Mr. Arya said, it seems cannot maximum to conduct some researcher. So yeah, we realize in the early researcher, when we use renewable energy such as solar cell, we should give more money about that. But during the researcher is can be useful for our future, particularly to be more high productivity in staple food. Yeah, that. So I mean, Indonesia still need still need what to say still need guided from another country, particularly from energy, right? Renewable energy, because Indonesia have researchers, but yes, till now it seems haven't maximum.
Okay.
It's
Thank you, Haidar.
it's my opinion for me, Mr.
Okay, thank you very much, Haidar. Very good thought that Haidar point out that in Indonesia currently the research about renewable energy especially is very lack of research. I mean, right? So yeah, I think this is the problem in all sectors in Indonesia, that the budget for research in Indonesia compared to other country is very low. Like in I maybe I mistake, but like in Indonesia, the budget for research is just 1% from the GDP, but in other countries, in especially in the developed country, the 9% of their GDP is for research. So yeah, that's problem in Indonesia, about in all sectors, I guess, not only for the renewable energy or in the rice, like you said before. Okay, yeah, I mean, maybe very quick thought because we still have another slide. Okay, come on, Yamin. Maybe you can unmute first. I cannot hear your voice,
Okay.
Yamin. Okay,
Okay.
cool.
It's clear now.
Yeah, loud and clear.
Okay, so thank you for the opportunity. I think this is very understandable if then our friends like Putra and also Haidar, I think they, for example, like Putra, he felt upset about what happening right now in the world. That there are so many conflict happening because of the energy, and then the organization that we depend on to lead all the nation, it doesn't do enough to make every country safe. But yeah, I think the main thing is like why people should focus on like getting the energy from the other country, while actually if we focus more on what we have in our country, I think the energy will be enough. Energy will is very abundant in every country with different sources. So like what like Haider said, if we did more research about how to develop the energy that can fulfill the need of the energy in our country, I think like Indonesia, we have more than enough to have the source of energy to fulfill our country need or people need. But one thing also that I want to point out about the energy, it's not, I believe like it's not only the it doesn't only cause the conflict, but vice versa. Energy sometimes can bring the country get together and work together. For example, like the organization like OPEC, I think this is one of the example that because of they are the what petroleum exporter country, they can work together even though like one country from Middle East, one country from America, Latin America, from Asia, from another country like from Africa, like Nigeria, it makes their relationship getting stronger. So in other perspective, actually energy doesn't only create conflict, but can bring many country work together. And also like one more thought, like the war in Ukraine, in Russia, in Ukraine, I
And
think the Russia try to use the energy to make sure the other Europe country they don't involve in the conflict. Like they will cut the gas to Germany, they will cut the gas to another Europe country if they involve too much in the conflict. So I think it will the good strategy to keep or maintain the peace. I think maybe that's enough, Bang Arya.
okay, very good point from Yamin. He emphasized about the sufficient energy in Indonesia, right? Yes, that's
Yep.
good point. Why Indonesia, the rich country, cannot fulfill the need of energy by itself, right? Good point, very
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
point. Actually, currently we rely. That is why currently we what? So in the last 5 years, there is like doubling production of coal in this time. That is why
Hmm.
that's maybe answer this question that very massive use. That's I think one we want to sufficient in energy, but the thing is we still depend on oil because we still use uh what combustion engine to
Yeah.
for transportation. That is why we still rely much on oil. But if we can like maybe we will talk about later, but I will say it now that if we can move to electricity to the transition to electricity is being smooth, yeah, we can reduce our dependency to the oil, and we will have self-sufficient energy in the future,
Right.
hopefully. And
Hopefully
also you
help.
point out about the geoeconomics that, yeah, that's good. That's the good point. We can use energy as a weapon right now. We use that. That's what happened. In the U.S. Venezuela conflict, and also in Ukraine, like you said before, Ukraine, and it's also that what happened in 1973 oil crisis. So at the time, Saudi Arabia used the oil as the weapon. So the Saudi Arabia embargo the oil trade to the importer country like the US, the UK, because they have involved a good relationship with Israel at the time. When Saudi at the time have a war with Israel at the time. So yeah, like a very good point that we can use the energy as weapon right now, not only for the use of our daily activities, but energy is more than that. It can lead to the crisis it can lead to conflict. It can use as a weapon. Yeah, it's very massive use of energy. Okay, I will go to the very good point. Thank you, Yamin. I will go to the next slide. Okay, we will talk about the current energy condition in Indonesia. So Indonesia is mostly depend on fossil fuel, like we already talked before that, and this is maybe I don't know whether it is you already know about it or no, but energy cost for end user in Indonesia is relatively cheap compared to other countries. I and Angga live in Australia right now, so and in this country we have like the to get the gasoline, the 92 unleaded gasoline. In here we can have like 10,000 rupiah, right? In Australia we have to pay like, if we convert it to rupiah, like I think 20,000, I guess 20,000 rupiah. So it's like double. The cost is doubling compared to Indonesia. Okay, and also the current condition, there is, especially for electricity, there is oversupply in Java and Bali. Any comment? Maybe one person, maybe just one, because we still have another slide. Anyone want to comment to this statement? Are you agree, or you want to put another point?
I disagree about the compare Indonesia with Australia.
Okay.
Sorry, because we need to know also about exchange rates, about human level life there, and how to GDP also. So
okay.
Indonesia is having the cheaper because we still give, or government still give, subsidize in our energy, like gasoline, like that. Yeah, I agree with this. Indonesia is having cheaper gasoline because there is having the subsidies from government.
Okay.
But I think it's not equal to compare the one country to another country, because we have the different exchange rate, I think. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, very good point. Maybe, yeah, that's very good point. Putra is emphasized about the purchasing power parity, I guess, right? Sorry if I mistake the term. So yeah, if we want to compare one country to another country, we have to be more objective instead of compare what the currency itself, we have to compare the purchasing power. Yeah, that's good point, Putra. Yeah. Okay, Angga, you wanna add something?
Yeah. Thank you, Arya. It just reminds me of some report or a documentary movie made by a watchdog several years ago, and in their documentary, they basically they're saying that energy cost in Indonesia is cheap. One of them is caused by uh, a conflict or a problem as well in some places, especially over mining pits as well that haven't been deforested. Sorry, yeah, deforest. Sorry if I'm mistaken. Yeah. So basically, yeah, it's not deforestation. What is the term when we when we need to make the places of ex mining pits green and become forested areas again?
Urbanization.
And yeah, reboisation
or recovery, something like that.
Yeah, something like recovery. And a lot of mining industries, factories, especially in when you're looking at Borneo cases in East Kalimantan, for example, there's so many ex mining pits that are supposed to be you know um, experiencing reboisation, but many companies or some of companies, I could say, they didn't do that. That is where their profits come from, because when you're doing that, it takes so much money, it takes so much cost as well. That's why they gain so much profit and benefit from it. Yeah, that's the thing that I wanna deliver.
Okay, thank you very much, Angga. Very good point. Yeah, that's the reality in Indonesia, right? Sometimes the company not doing the right thing. They just, because the main intention is to the profit is their main intention. That is why we should actively engage in that kind of issue, in this like environmental issue or energy issue, because the one that can control that kind of thing is the people itself. I mean, the people power is come from the power to make political decision by put the politician. So if the politician can hear us as the policy actor as well, we can influence the politician, and politician can give push to the company to do the right thing. Okay, I think I will go to the next slide. Okay, and that's the yet. However, even though we have cheap and then relatively cheap, I will correct the by statement. It's not cheap, but maybe just relatively cheap to other countries, because if we compare to Asian countries, we like compared to like Laos, I guess Laos or Thailand, we like cheaper than to the that other countries, which is, I think, in the Asian country, the purchasing power is relatively the same, right? And the problem is currently the energy is undersupplied in other areas. I mean, except the Java and Bali. So in Java and Bali, the electricity, there is like more we can see this later in the slide. And energy transition might be slow. Okay, we will talk about it later. And highly dependent on imported oils. Like I said before, that currently we are the next importer. So our production in, like, I think 800 barrels per day, while our consumption to the oils in a day is like 2 million, I guess, 2 million barrels per day. So we like import 1.3 million barrels per day. We have to import that from other countries. Okay, this is just a quick about energy consumption. Okay, this is the electricity source in Indonesia. This is the data from, I took it from International Energy Agency. This is the data from 2000 and until 2020. Like you can see that there is a massive increase, right, in the use resource for electricity in Indonesia, and mainly from the coal and the oil, right? This is the coal is the brown one, and oil in the and also the natural gas as well. And maybe I think it is like 20 or no, I think not. It is just 10%, I guess, from the renewable energy, which is geothermal, bioenergy, and waste, and hydro. Anyone want to comment to this about bioenergy? This is actually in bioenergy it includes like I forgot who said before. Yeah, I mean, I guess talk about the biosolar, right? Yeah, this bioenergy is included in this. So it is like and also the waste. So currently waste like in Bandar Gebang used to generate electricity. So basically it's the waste is used like a coal. So instead of using coal as the source, they use waste. Any comment, maybe? Anyone that not haven't talked? Maybe Anis or Scar, Tommy.
I'm enjoy listening. Yep.
Okay.
Yes, I'm
No
still
worries.
listening.
Anis. Okay, then. Anyone want to comment? Tommy, maybe, or Adrian, or Febri? No?
Okay.
Oh, Febri. Okay. Go on,
All
Febri.
right. Okay. Am I audible, Mr. Arya?
Okay. Good.
All right.
Loud and clear.
Okay.
Continue.
I'm not really sure whether my statement will be
No
useful or
worries.
but as I know that yes, I was about to talk about geothermal and also bioenergy when you said like a couple minutes ago about geothermal, because we know that geothermal in Indonesia, we have the potential of big geothermal energy in Indonesia, but the problem is that high potency we couldn't use it properly right now. It is because of the human resources, of course, the technology itself, and I don't know. Are we ready now to what do you call to utilize the geothermal energy in Indonesia? Now, I do believe there are many people focusing on geothermal energy right now. Again, about the bioenergy and waste, I do agree with Ms. idea before that bioenergy such as biodiesel, bioethanol, and this energy right now can be used it can be used for what transportations bioethanol, biodiesel, for example. It can be, oh no, what do you call the waste of the minyak sayur. I forgot what to say minyak sayur in English. Like wait, sawit, not fuel oil. Palm
Vegetable
oil.
oil? Palm oil?
Yes, palm oil. I mean, the way
Palm oil,
you
yeah.
can use it as a biodiesel, right? And then minyak jelantah. I don't know in terms of English, minyak jelantah. So we can also use it for biodiesel right now. And it's useful. In Java, if I'm not mistaken, I was reading about the article that there are some, not seller, they are some people, they collect minyak jelantah, and then they do the purging or distillation to make it pure. So yes, cooking oil. Yes, cooking oil to make it the oil pure again, and then they will use it and they will sell it to the next party, for example. Yeah, vegetable. Thank you so much, Mr. Angga. And then they will use it for biodiesel. That's the thing that I know a little bit about geothermal and also bioenergy, especially biodiesel. And that's all, I think. Thank you so much, Mr. Andre.
Okay, very good point from Trevi talking about bioenergy. Yeah, that's what Febri said is basically the resume of the bioenergy in Indonesia. It's basically the use of palm oil, because we have so many palm oil production, and we can use it for combustion engine. But it's also make the problem. So that's what happened currently, when the palm oil the have significantly rise, the price of the palm oil significantly rise like last year, I guess, right? That's also because you use it also for bioenergy, for bios, so that like in one hand we use it for energy, in other hand we use also for cooking. It's like how do you say that in English? Yeah, you know what I mean, right? Like in the one hand we used it for yeah I confused to express that, but that's what happened because of the war. Ukraine is one of the countries that produce veggies oil, and then because it's Ukraine cannot supply that to the world, and then people start to use palm oil, and then the palm oil in the world rise. Yeah, that's another story. Okay. Any you want put add more, Angga? Any thought?
Yeah, this is interesting. I mean, we need to answer why is coal very dominated? Why do we seem to be reluctant to develop other more useful and sustainable and renewable resources? I'm not sure that our human resources is lacking, or considering there's so many scientists, researchers in Indonesia that have have studied abroad. They have done so much research. For example, why is still very dominated sector in Indonesia? Yeah, probably one of it because it is cheap in relatively easy to produce. But I think it comes from political will. You know, dominantly, that is still lacking in our amongst our politicians, as just I mentioned earlier on the chat box. Yeah, probably it is due to the fact that our politicians have still strong bond to the owners of mining industries. There's an interesting report as well done by several environmental NGOs. There's close relations between um, you know political corruption, especially in the at election times. The report said that after elections is done, okay, in several areas, the amount of mining license um, have increased massively in the region. It is mainly because the owners of mining companies, they contributed some political funding to to would be, okay, I could say politicians or governor, either governor or in the regions. So I think this is one of the things we need to consider. It is mainly because of the human resources, or it is mainly caused by political will. Because if we cannot find the problem, we can find the solution. That's why we need to be able to analyze it very well. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, very good point by Angga that the involvement of the relationship between the company, the owner of the mine, and the politician. Maybe the reason is the political will, Angga, and they use what? They use human resources on other reason just for like, yeah, how do you say that? The reason, just the reason, the other reason, but the main reason is, which is it is hidden, is political will. Okay, Putra, you wanna add something?
Yeah, a short ads. Yeah, I think
Okay.
our country, Indonesia, is having the better change right now nowadays because, as I knew, government also push the community or the all of the community of Indonesia to change our behavior, to change our mindset. And I think this the government effort is have the or is get the result, the good result, the good impressive from the community of Indonesia also. For example, our government, as I knew, our government built so many geothermal electricity industry like as I know, Indonesia is having 250 something PLTU in all of island. Even though this is not maximal, even though this is not maximal yet, because the development is need the time, need the most the big effort from the all of component of the country. But I feel happy because nowadays in Jakarta, especially every day I seen in the street that electricity car, electricity bike. So I think that Indonesian people is already changed the mindset, our mindset to change our energy resources to electricity. That the end of the electricity is to the geothermal energy or resources, used to geothermal resources. And I think I just want to say nowadays Indonesia is having change in transition time to energy, and Indonesia community is welcome and appreciate and happy to receive the changes. Thank you.
Okay, very good point, Putra. So Putra point out about how people in Indonesia is very welcoming the energy transition. They use electric transport tools, I guess, right? And yeah, that's a good thing, because what the source of energy that used by the people is depend on how people use energy. Like if we use if we mostly use combustion engine, so we will rely on oil forever. But if we can change it to electricity, there's an opportunity for, because the source of the electricity can be the renewable energy, even though currently we still rely on coal. But yeah, maybe in the future the use of the geothermal will be more massive, like Putra said. Yes, a good point.
Yeah, let's to be freedom from the coal and gas.
Yeah, hopefully, I mean. Okay, Tommy, please.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Arya. And thank you for Mr. Febri, because after I heard the opinion from Mr. Febri, sounds like have my talk like have ignition. Yeah, because I hear from Mr. Arya. Mr. Arya always said about combustion engine. Where are you? What your major in Australia? Your mechanical engineering?
No,
Student?
public policy.
Public policy. How come
Yeah.
you can say combustion engine, right? It sounds like more mechanical engineer. Okay. Yeah, but I want to say I really disagree with what last comment from Mr. Putra, because if if you pray to let we move to from coal to geothermal 100%, I really disagree, because I'm a mining employee.
Okay, cool.
I work for the mining company.
Oh, I forgot you about that.
Yeah, you make me
Are you
unemployed
working in the
after.
coal mining? In coal mining or what? Yes.
Just an employee for a mining contractor, especially in the coal.
Cool. Oh, I see.
Yeah, my company have a project in Australia as well.
Cool.
They supported for some concession owner, if we call in Indonesia, how to say, the owner of the mining area, such as BHP, Downer Mining, Anglo American, and etc.
Okay.
Yeah, but mainly the project operation is in Kalimantan. So I really agree with what you say, Mr. Arya. If currently our nation is still rely on coal, because coal itself is more cheaper than others, right? Even though last 2 days I saw in television President Jokowi said in last 6 until 7 years in his regime, he succeed to build 31 how to say, he bioenergy like water PTA apa, bendungan ya.
Dam.
Okay.
Dam ya, dam. And then yeah, that's good point from our government to switch from what we call natural resources from coal and from oil to bioenergy, or if we like renewable energy, right? And then they build like wind energy to supply the electricity in the, if I'm not mistaken, Sidrap, Sidrap in Sulawesi.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's the biggest wind power, yeah, wind power, yeah,
We
wind
call
farm.
that PLTB.
PLTB, ya, pembangkit listrik tenaga bayu, right?
Yeah.
And then, yeah, coal itself is still sexy for for factory to supply the electricity, because the price itself is cheaper than others, and then the transfer of technology from the basic process to the more like advanced process. It's, yeah, because right nowadays, currently our PLTU is more, but Indonesia have much PLTU, right?
Yeah.
If we compare with the geothermal and so on. So that's why coal still sexy, especially for Australia itself. Right now Australia already have biggest contract with China, and then Australia opened their policy to supply to China, and then also in supply to India. That's why the coal price is getting higher right now, and then good for me especially, and then good for the coal businessman. But I do agree, if we need to like step by step changes, from not really changes, not 100% change, but like mix or combine our electricity source from coal and oil product to the renewable energy, such as wind energy or geothermal and so on. And then, yeah, if from my perspective, to build the battery, they still need to build a big factory, and then to run the factory itself, to run the manufacture, or to run the to run the factory, still need a big electricity, such as coal.
Okay,
so that's why yeah, we cannot change 100% coal from the business process cycle to supply electricity. Mr. Arya.
Okay, very good point, Mr. Tommy. Mr. Tommy pointed out about that our future is the coal, still the coal. And actually it's true, because later we will, in the slide, we can see that in the there is a plan to about energy mix in 2050, and still the main source is the coal. But they use, like, currently there is a technology that they call it clean coal generation to generate the electricity, clean coal. So basically they use carbon capture to capture the carbon that produced by coal. But I don't know whether this is just the gimmick or not, but there is the development of technology of the carbon capture for coal electricity generator that being developed in Indonesia, and yeah, that the coal is still the future. That's correct, Mr. Tommy. Okay, we will go on to the next slide, I guess. Wait a minute. Okay, this is just this is the fossil fuel demand in Indonesia, which is still very high, because like we see this in this slide that mainly our energy is being supplied by the fossil fuel. This is our current energy mix, the energy supply by the source. So yeah, mostly still from the fossil fuel. Some we have yeah, like Putra said before, geothermal is improving compared to when in the 2000 it's just like maybe like 2%, I guess, from the total energy source. But right now it's like maybe, yes, Tommy. Okay. But right now it's maybe like, I guess 10%, I guess. No, maybe like 9 or 8% from the total of energy source is supplied by geothermal. That's a good thing, right? So many. So to be just for the info that until 2007 there is no development in energy generator in Indonesia. There's no new energy generator. But after that, Indonesia start to build more and more than from the coal, and especially from the coal, and some from renewable energy such as geothermal and biofuel. This is the fact about electricity gap in Indonesia. Like we already talked before, that there is an over capacity in Java and Bali. There is over capacity 30%. Actually, the standard for the safe standard for the electricity in one region is 20%. So it consider safe, like in Sulselbar, this one 20%. It is not like 20% is the excess, but the normal excess is 20%. When it is reached, like still the excess only 5.8 is still not safe, or is like in NTT there is only 9% excess, that's still not safe. So yeah, this is so our there is a crisis, we can say it, crisis in other region except Java and Bali and the Sulawesi, I guess. Okay. And also, yeah, like we talk about like we already talked before that currently we are the net importer of the oil, but we still the net exporter of other, from coal and then natural gas and palm oil. So that's our power, that's our main resource that we can use for our self-sufficient energy. Like Tommy said before that, I forgot. Okay, just skip. Okay, so Tommy, want to add something? Sorry.
Yeah. I want to add my previous statement regarding the coal. Yeah, right now, if I know our government have a lot of patience to conversion from the coal and oil to renewable energy such as geothermal and then biodiesel and so on. Yeah, but to convert first conversion, it's always has like conversion costs, if especially for biodiesel. I talk about the biodiesel before the company, especially the mining company, to run their heavy equipment, they need to they consume solar, and then solar is mostly from the oil, fossil oil. And then right now our government enforce the business to use the palm oil itself. And then combine and mix with the fossil oil, solar fuel with 30% biodiesel, and then it's state and the regulation is already applied since 2018 or 19, if I'm not mistaken. And nowadays, this year, not this year, but last year. Oh yeah, this year, first January this year, President Jokowi released the policy to use 35% until 40% biodiesel, and then to convert 40% biodiesel, it's not easy, even though we have palm kebun ya, farm in Sumatra, and also in
plantation,
Sulawesi. Plantation, palm plantation in Sumatra. But mostly of the plantation company owned by Malaysia. That's why it's a little bit difficult to 100% convert, because previously it's happened with coal itself. If you remember, President Suharto regime always just focus on oil, right? Coal, it's little bit ignore with the government policy. Once government need to converting from oil to coal, mostly coal is focusing to sell in the outside from Indonesia. That's why 2014 government have like advantages. They inform, they conveyed all of the coal company to please don't sell your coal to outside of Indonesia, just supply to PLN, just supply to us, and we will pay with the price more higher than the market. And then after that, if you go to maybe in the Balikpapan, and then you see if you go to Batu Kacang area, you will see the Kidiku. I just make an example in the Kidiku. If you will see the big billboard that said Fitness, Objek Vital Nasional. Why the Kidiku state with, and then you will see a mariner or army, Indonesian army keep in front of the Kidiku gate, because Kidiku is a part of coal supplier to PLN. So that's why our government keep that company as a Fitness, Objek Vital Nasional. And now if we convert 40%, if we must use to 40% biodiesel is supplied from the palm oil, it should be we need to keep the palm production just for our consumption, right? That's why it's a little bit need more time. It's need more time to convert. It's more time to converting. So that's why you will see why Pak Luhut is a more what we call is more important, because he need to make sure the plantation production not go to Malaysia, because we need to keep the palm oil just consumed for our nation. That's why, and must be for the first conversion must be used the big power to keep our natural resources not to going anywhere, just for Indonesia. That's why we need Mr. Jokowi put Pak Luhut to ensure 100%. That's why he's still there. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Tommy, for very nice insight from Tommy about the fact in our mining industry. That is why why coal is still being the future, not the biodiesel, because yeah, political will, I guess, right? Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry, Silahuddin, because we are run out of the time, because we have to close this discussion like in 7 minutes. I will just point out some point in my slide, just quick, very quick explanation. Okay, our current problem with the current energy mix is that this is because we are rely on the fossil fuels. This is unsustainable and destructive to the nature, right? Because of the mining industry is not like moreover, like Angga said before, that the company some company not doing the right thing, they are not recover their mine site after they finish the mine activities. And also the another problem is the emission. So we can see from this chart that from the transport and the electricity, the CO2 emission is very high, because yeah, again, we still use fossil fuels, which is produce extensive CO2. And also another problem is that this kind of energy mix is related to corruption and oligarchy. We, like Angga said before, that there is a connection between the mine owner and the politician, or the politician itself, that's the one that own the mine. So yeah, there is a relatively high risk for the corruption here, even though later maybe if the in energy renewable energy, there is also, if there is the player is just some companies, there's also a high risk for the corruption as well. But if we change, there is an opportunity, especially in the renewable energy that use the solar cell. Like there is an opportunity for like not so, if we compare to mining is need very massive capital, right? But in renewable energy, with small capital, everyone can involve in that area. So there is an opportunity. There is no the chance to be controlled by several parties, oligarchy will be minimized. Okay, and yeah, this is the fact about how massive the corruption in oil and gas, especially because for your information, that our current contract form in oil and gas and coal is different, which is in oil and gas there is better chance to be corrupt rather than in coal. So yeah, you can search about cost recovery contract. That is why that's the main problem of the corruption in oil and gas, because this kind of contract is tend to be more corrupt than other contract. Okay, and this is the potential for energy transition in Indonesia. And this is like we said, Tommy said before, that the coal in 2020, the power generation still be the coal with CCUS, or with carbon capture, utilization, and storage. That's I don't know whether this is just the gimmick or not, but yeah, that's the coal is still the future. This is the challenges for the renewable energy, like versus political will, high risk, especially for the geothermal. The process for geothermal is like the process in the oil and gas. So they use drilling. So for one site, it's like at minimum we have to spend like $30 million. $30 million for the capital. And yeah, there is an issue with the location as well, and the infrastructure and the location. Pricing mechanism and power billing is related to our regulation that the electricity is monopolized by the PLN. That's the problem here. Maybe you can search about this, the pricing mechanism and power billing. You can see that in our constitution, it is mandatory that PLN have to manage everything. So if you if other the private sector cannot manage it by themselves. And also public resistance. Public resistance is what happened that in here we can see in some water power generation, there is people that resist to the bill to build this. There is some parties that resist to that. Okay, maybe I will skip to the. Okay, there is to effectively have energy transition. There is one concept that maybe you should know. It is just energy transition. So just energy transition is emphasized on that energy is not about energy itself, but it's about the people. There is so many people, so many parties involved in this sector that essentially every party should be involved in this when it want to change to other form of energy. Yeah, that's the point of the just energy transition. And I think this is one of the answer for energy transition to have just energy transition conduct in Indonesia.
Mas Arya,
for the call, yeah.
Before we end, I mean, because this is very interesting question. I mean, this is our main question. Despite some problems we have mentioned from our discussion, maybe we can discuss just this one question before we end. Maybe others might be interested as well in terms of this year.
Okay then. Okay, because Angga, our leader in this discussion, has said that we have more time for this. So yeah, anyone want to answer this? How we? Okay, Sunshine, please.
Okay, am I audible?
Cool.
Okay, so I suppose as usual, everything comes ultimately to how government can convince the society, because anyway there would be diverse layers in our community. That would be like extremist people, radical people, more liberal into moderate, and moderate itself even divided into several layers, even more, depending on the terms, the difference in terms of that political, social, education, and also economical perspective, right? So it's like what happens in our current policy to be established or enacted in Jakarta, for example, like ERP. Of course, there will be strong resistance from people. It comes to how the government can properly educate and deliver sustained communications with communities, especially the vulnerable party. Even though it seems quite classic and old, conservative at the same time, education still, if this project would especially involve more digital projected. So yeah, I believe it's not so easy because communities are not completely well educated, and of course there are several important parties to be that they can as well involved as well, invited as well. So to achieve this, educations and also socializations need to be made sure well delivered to them. I think that's what we can do for that.
Okay, very good point, Sunshine. He emphasized that education, socialization is the ultimate answer for this problem. Okay, well, Angga, you wanna add some point?
Yeah, it is indeed government is important, but I don't think that it is easy to achieve mainly from just the government. Looking at the close bond between the governments and the owners of these destructive industries. I think it's quite impossible to achieve without having strong resistance from below. Yeah, I mean, when we're looking at Nordic countries, which already have had strong renewable energies. These renewable energies don't come from just their government, so there's strong resistance because there's social democratic parties over there, and followed by strong grassroots society encouraged by their people. That's why the government are pushed to go forward, looking at the more sustainable energies. Yeah, it is indeed the government is important, but I think it is not enough. There needs to be push from below as well, from local communities, from researchers, from more educated people, and from the working class as well, which you know which benefited from this industries as well. Yeah, this is what's going on now in Australia, where we look at some workers that have been, very vulnerable to renewable energies. The government needs to find the solution by, maybe employing them in new, or exporting them to more sustainable, industries. Yeah, as long as we have, strong intentions, followed by, impetus from below, I think that can be possible to achieve in the foreseeable future.
Okay, thank you, Angga. Grassroots movement is also important. Putra?
Yeah, this is interesting question. Yeah, and I always have some idea. Government is the most important. I do agree with that. And the second is trust. Society is important also. So the first is government need to build trust, need to eradicate the corruption in our country, and society will support all of the program without corruption in every project. Okay, and it will be changed our mindset as society to support to the government to change to make the better resources, to make the long lifetime resources. And don't forget, we have Mr. Tommy, we have the many company which are new about how to build, how to maintain the resources. So we need to conduct also the person like Mr. Tommy, who's have the knowledge about how to the better way to maintain the resources. I think we have the many sector, we have the many variable to conduct by who? government itself. Thank you. Mr. Tommy, let's go.
Very good point, Mr. Putra, that every party in here, the government, the people, the companies, everyone should have cooperate together to achieve the same goal, which is what the self-sustained energy in Indonesia, I guess. Okay. Anyone? One more, maybe, Angga? Anyone still want that more point, I guess? If no, okay, I think that's enough. It is very, I really enjoy this discussion. Everyone is very, very active tonight. We still, even we lack of the time. Yeah, to close this, there is a good quote from Sanchez, and energy is about people. So tackling climate crisis, tackling energy problem is not only about technology and hardware, but it is also about people and societies. There is significant economic, environmental, social risk connected to clean energy transition that need to be carefully planned in order to mitigate adverse impact. So yeah, basically, like you all said before, that it's not about the energy itself. It's every party should cooperation together, so to achieve the goal together. Okay, I think that's enough. Thank you for your attention. I will give the time back to Angga. Please, Angga.
Thank you very much, Arya, for sharing our discussion tonight, and everyone as well that has shared their ideas in our discussion. Even though we only have a very few people, involved in our discussion, but the discussion is very, alive. There's so many ideas coming up in our discussion. I really appreciate that. Well, before we close, as always, there's some feedback of the day that I mentioned. I put on the chat box. There's also some feedback for me as well in terms of our English performance. But overall, everyone did a very good job. Our English is very good, understandable. But yeah, again, I need to write something as feedback. So this is the a play that I need to do in this discussion. Well, there's some issues on pronunciation and vocabularies. This is quite common. I mean, quite common mistakes, I could say. Like if effort, everyone often say effort. Yeah, there is supposed to be effort. Owned, there is supposed to be owned. Okay, without e. This is quite difficult. Oligarchy. So this is this should be not all, but oligarchy. 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 And then there's some vocabularies, specific ones. I could say in our discussion earlier, like minyak jelantah, cooking oil, minyak sayur, vegetable oils. In other hand, I think it should be on the other hand or on the flip side. Perkebunan, plantation, and this is some vocabulary that I was asking before, menghijaukan kembali or reforest. Well, that's all. I will share them in our group. Before end, let's take some good photos. Everyone, can you guys share your handsome faces? Because no girls in here, so I could say everyone is handsome. All right, Silahudin. Okay, give me a second. Let me take the pictures. Okay, give us your most handsome face. All right, 1, 2, 3. One more. Change your style. 1, 2, 3. All right. Thank you, everyone. Before we end, as always, let's say our jargon. When I say OTA community, you guys should say yesterday. We said tomorrow. Okay, yesterday we said tomorrow. All right, Ota community. Yesterday.
Yesterday.
Tomorrow.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr.
All right, I'll see you
Arya.
guys.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
And
Okay,
Thank
see you
you for
next
coming.
time.